Hello, my name is Dylan Esdale, and today I am going to be playing Summoner's War, which is by Come2Us. It is a turn-based strategy game, similar to Pokemon or Final Fantasy, um, and it is a mobile game for both Android and iPhone. And I want to apologize in advance for the video quality. I'm streaming this from my phone to my desktop and recording it there, so the video quality is a little wonky. So the first thing we're going to look at is your hometown. This is where you can build all your buildings. You can set it up however you want, and I'm going to look at some of the important buildings here. So the first one I'm going to look at is the magic shop. This will cycle every hour, and you can buy low-level monsters or runes here to power up your existing monsters. If we scroll over a little bit from the Magic Store, I have my income-based buildings. So these blue ones are mana stones. That's kind of your base currency. It's very easy to find. These red ones are called ruby crystals, and they are more difficult to find, or alternatively, you can pay for them using microtransactions. And if we continue down even farther, I have all my monster-related buildings down here. So the first one we're going to look at is the summoning platform. When we open up the summoning platform, there's a bunch of different ways you can summon monsters. There's unknown scrolls, mystical summons, social summons, and then there's specific monster summons using monster pieces. Now each one of these summons has a specific range of monster that it can summon, so 1 to 3 stars or 3 to 5 stars. There's a range of monsters from 1 to 6 stars in the game, but you cannot summon 6-star monsters. Kind of frustratingly with these things is if you're trying to summon something, the maximum level you can summon with that scroll type, so either a 3 or a 5 star, has about a 0.5% chance of being summoned. Next to my summoning platform, I have my power-up circle, which you can use to make your monsters stronger. So you can either level them up, or you can evolve them into a higher star rating. Both of them require you to sacrifice other monsters. Evolving is more complicated. Your monster has to be at its maximum level, and then depending on the star rating, let's say I have a 4-star monster, if I want to get that to a 5-star, I need to sacrifice 4 more 4-star monsters in order to bump that guy up to a 5-star. Aside from leveling up and evolving, you can also awaken monsters. This is done outside the power-up circle, but it uses essences, magic essences, and then the essences that are specific to that monster's type. There are 5 different types of monsters. There's fire, wind, water, light, and dark, and each of those beats the others in a rock, paper, scissors type of way. But you use essences to evolve your monster into its ultimate form, and it will get a new spell and drastically increased stats. Now we're going to take a look at the map for the game world. So all of these zones you see with the 3 stars below them are campaign maps. Within each of those there are 7 levels with 3 stages each. The first 6 levels are just normal levels, the 7th one is a boss level, so that 3rd stage inside that level will be a boss fight. Each of these map levels has a specific rune that it will drop, has a specific set of runes, and a set of monsters that it can drop as well. The next thing we're going to look at is the Kairos Dungeon. This has multiple different dungeons in it, each of which has 10 floors. They get pretty difficult as you get lower. And so there's the Dragon's Lair, the Giant's Keep, secret dungeons, which you can find, and then there's the Hall of Magic, which is always there. It gives one of the base essences that you need to awaken monsters, and then below that there is a different hall every day. So either fire, wind, water, light, or dark, and it cycles every 24 hours. And you can use that to find essences or secret dungeons for either new monsters or to awaken monsters that you already have. Right next to the Kairos dungeon is the Tower of Ascension. This is probably the most difficult part of the game. It is a 100-floor dungeon that gets successively harder as you go higher, and there are different rewards for every 10 floors that you clear, and the rewards get increasingly more powerful as you get higher and higher up the tower. In the top left corner of the map is the arena, which houses all your player versus player options. it will give you a matchup list of a random set of players, and you can refresh this every few minutes if you want to get a new list. One thing that I don't like about this game is the way it does matchmaking. You get matched up with people based on how many points you have, which you can see in the bottom next to those double cross swords. And this matchmaking system is kind of weird because your points reset at the end of every week. So every Monday you come in with 1,000 points, which means whether you're level 1 or level 40, which is the max level in the game, you'll all be in the same bracket. So level 1s get matched up with level 40s, level 20s with level 40s, 30s with 10s. It's not a very good matchmaking system. But based on how well you do, you can climb up the rankings and you can get rewards every week. The rewards are typically ruby crystals, but as you get to higher ranks, you get a larger amount of ruby crystals, and eventually you start unlocking monsters as well. Now I'm just going to run through a level real quick just so you can see how these levels work. I'm going to play the Garin Forest boss level. I'm doing this on the highest difficulty, but this is the first zone, so it's not exceptionally difficult. So once you select the level you want to play, it brings up your list of monsters that you can use. That first bar of monsters is my monsters that I own. The bar below that is my friend's reputation monsters. So every friend that you have on this game on your friends list will have a reputation monster. You can use one reputation monster per round, and you can only use each monster once a day. But if you need help, it's a good way to get some powerful monsters to help you clear a stage that you can't beat on your own. Now I'm going to set this to auto run so I don't have to do a whole bunch of inputs. So all of my monsters are just going to attack on their own using pre-scripted priorities on their spell rotations and stuff. If I did not do that, I would get to choose for each one of my monsters would get a turn. I would choose which of their spells I wanted to use and then choose a target to execute that spell and then cycle through each of my team members, and then each of the enemy team members would get a chance to attack me back, and so on and so forth. Each of these levels has 3 stages. So for this one, there are 2 normal stages of just regular enemies, and then 1 final boss stage. Almost every boss in the game is based off of a monster that you can catch or summon. So this is a water Inugami. He's a little different than the normal water Inugami. So you can see his health bar up top and then his spells directly under that on the right. Each boss has a specific set of abilities. This guy has a chance to attack multiple times per turn. And then he also has a passive where if he kills a unit, he immediately gets another turn. Once you clear the final stage, you will get your reward. So it'll give you a bunch of money, some experience, maybe some energy or ruby crystal, and then it'll give you a specific reward for that run. It'll also show you how much experience your monsters gain for clearing it. And once you click on the screen again, it'll bring up your reward. This will probably be a rune. And if you get a rune, you have the chance to keep it or sell it if you don't need it. You can only hold a specific number of runes, so it's good to sell the ones you don't need. And after that, you have the option to go either back to the world map, go back to your base, look at your runes, or replay the stage or continue on to the next stage. So I chose to go back to my base, and we're going to look at my monsters real quickly. So you can see your whole collection of monsters, and I have mine set to be descending order from most powerful to least powerful. And here you can see info about your monster, including their stats, the skills they have, the materials required to awaken them, and what runes you have equipped on them, as well as your entire collection of runes. Now, runes come in a variety of forms. They can either be sets of 2 or sets of 4 for a complete set, and these sets do different effects like increase damage, increase health, increase critical strike rating, increase critical strike damage, so on and so forth. Each monster can have 6 runes on them, so you can typically get 2 to 3 sets on a monster. And this concludes my Let's Play video for Summoner's War by Come2Us. This is a free game for mobile platforms, so if you're interested, feel free to check it out. And thanks for watching my video.